the hardest situations that you could put yourself in is to be in a relationship with an enmeshed woman. An enmeshed woman is somebody who has gravitated towards their children in a way in which they're intimately emotionally connected to the exclusion of their partner, and in many cases in replacement of their partner. They emotionally and intimately replace on the emotional level their partner as a source of security, emotional security. Usually these people are married to drunks or negligent men who are unable to address or meet the needs of the female. The female or male can work opposite in both ways, gravitates towards the opposite sex child and now plays that child into a position or grooms that child into a position where one and the other are reliant on the other in a dimension that has desires and aspects to it that are unholy, as it were, that are too close for comfort. They'll brush past each other, they'll hug each other. This is beyond the normal parental adult-child realm. They'll give each other innuendos, they'll say lurid things to each other, they'll address each other in a sexual roundabout way, they'll touch each other strangely and fondly, they'll feed each other's egos and stroke each other's egos, and this is while you're present as a partner. Now, you could be the partner of the adult child or the partner of the elderly mother or father, but they ain't going to hide these little red flags that you'll be able to see that'll start sending off alarm bells. You'll find that there'll always be a void in the relationship, a void that cannot be filled, because the void is there because there's a part of the person that you're with that is intimately and wrongly connected to a child or a parent. And this is groomed behaviour. They groom each other to be reliant on each other as a safety net. If you perform in a way in which you're meeting the needs of the person that you're with, they will oppose to a certain extent, or at least allow to go latent, the emotional incest connection. And usually they know that they have a time phase that they can be negligent toward the covert emotional incest before things start to manifest, because it will go overt. I've seen this over and over again, and when it goes overt and these people start to manifest and start a tug of war for the supply of the person that you're with, it gets ugly very, very quick. It'll start off with little smart, cunning remarks. It'll go to blatant, insulting comments or threatening comments. I've had one bloke say to me, "You would never want to be hit by me." And I thought, what on earth would be making somebody come up with a comment like that? What is going on in this person's mind? And they'll bung on in front of the mother that they've got a job coming up that's in another state to try and shock the mother and put fear into the mother, because the mother's bonded to this child in an intimate way, not in a maternal way. The mother has made this child either the man of the house or their little husband, And that's very hard to undo. Now you think about it, when you come along, if you impress some other and you've got the goods and she likes you and she's going to start to invest in you, this is going to start the beginning of a psychological breakdown on the person that the mother or the adult child's being pulled away from. When you split or maim, as it were, or harm the covert emotional incestual connection, when you cause the supply to begin to starve, it is going to manifest obvious consequential results, usually resulting in a flat-out, downright breakdown on the part of the one that feels left out. I've seen these people feign fits. I've seen them urinate themselves to get their mother's attention. I've seen them yell, strangle, bail up in corners screaming and yelling. I've watched them knock down doors, peel off wallpaper, bash on doors, screaming out for food and abuse. I've watched grown men stand there asking their mother for a Band-Aid or a Panadol, like little children, to get their mother's attention. I've watched them barge into bedrooms uninvited, and the mother just saying, well, what can she say? You don't know how much time these people are spending in the bedroom while you're not there. You've got to interpret what you're seeing as in a way of what's going on when you're not there. I've had 21-year-old people jump into bed with the mother and myself, to my shock, but not to the mother's shock. The mother just cuddled up, cozy. I've watched these people fabricate lies and attempt to try and emotionally vandalize who you are, your character and who you are. You don't take any notice of it, of course. You just realize, well, let's see what happens here. And I've watched the mother try and break away, but totally unable to. And you say to yourself, all right, I start to detach, because these people are going to end up back together, back in their covert emotional incest. And you're just a means of supply. You see, unless they are silly enough to cross over into the sexual incestual parts of this, which is very minimal, but some do, they need outside sexual supply. And if you're providing that supply at a very high level, as I said before, they will allow the emotional incest to be neglected, but it's always going to be consequential, because the other person who is now not getting supply, because the person that you're with become more interested in you, there will be a psychological breakdown. And that will be part of the way in which the undersupplied, be it the parent or the adult child person, aggressively and desperately attempts to get the attention back on them from the partner. They'll attack you behind your back, they'll vandalize you, they'll do whatever they can to try and interfere and break the relationship that you're with. So you need to understand that when you realize you're in a covert emotional incestual relationship, you're just a means of supply. Because the covert emotional incest relationship, the enmeshment, will be upheld, because it was going on decades before you come along. And it's based on DNA, it's based on a maternal bond, but it's extra maternal. Like when you're in a marriage and somebody has an extramarital affair. These people are having an extra maternal emotional affair. It's abuse. They're abusing each other. They like it, and they'll continue it. because it's a safety net when their relationships break down, which inevitably they will, because of the void that the emotional incest places on the partner of these people. It's a no-win situation. It's a situation where once you realise something just ain't quite right, the best thing for you to do is immediately walk away. You have to take the pain, you have to go through the suffering and the heartache and heartbreak, and walk away, leave them people to themselves, go no contact, and get on with your life. You'll hear stories about sicknesses and illnesses and all this stuff. It's all excuse making. And they're excuses that justify the fact that these people are going to be together for the rest of their lives, one way or another. And it's not a pretty place to put yourself in. It's damaging and it's harmful to you as well. It causes severe trauma because you think the harder you try, the better things will become. No, you're just a means of supply. You're not all that important, believe me. If they realise that you're going to go, they'll get desperate and start to tell you they love you and all this stuff. But their actions won't match their words. They always become distant. They always go back to the distant void part that they play. And it's not worth it. When you meet someone that's organised and they've got everything working around you and for themselves in harmony without an outside interference, it's absolutely marvellous. But when you're trying to have a relationship with somebody in a covert emotional incest dual arrangement, you're just a outsider, and that's all you'll ever be. And when you realise that, you have to break away, you have to detach and understand that you've put yourself in a situation that does not benefit you or them. You should never have been in there in the first place. You leave them alone and go away and get yourself healed and your life on a path with somebody that's going to work in with you, and understand how powerful and deadly and dark and dangerous covert emotional incest is.